I know I work alone. He was psychologically damaged from being told he couldn't help because he made himself some little boots that helped him to fly. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Oh, wait, yes, you can, because that story is rooted in reality. The reality of someone wanting to do something they can't do, and when they're refused, they become a sociopath, right? They become, a lunatic, like what we saw in Butler, Pennsylvania, what we saw, unfortunately, last week with Charlie Kirk. A person who was allowed to radicalize himself, because now we're finding out that his family knew that he had, some issues, and now we're finding out that the grandfather wanted to know where the gun was. So there's more here, and I don't want to blame that family. But then again, well, who else can we look at? I mean, who else knew him that well? He had some friends on Discord. I know the FBI is looking into that.
Well, I mean, there's always these pieces, right? And I know that people want to be able to say, aha, so that's the exact culprit, and that's the direct, intractable causation factor. Like, when the debate always comes up about, say, video games. People say, well, you can't do that because, a lot of people play video games and they don't necessarily go out and shoot up the neighborhoods. That's true. But however, that doesn't mean you can dismiss all factors because they're not completely and singly and exclusively correlative. What I mean by that, in just plain language, is that, like you said, yes, there are always clues. So I'm not looking to blame, but I'm looking to say there are always things that make a connection for people, and unfortunately move along the continuum.
Where we going?
That starts being radical.
Riding home from Green Springs, Ohio to White House, Ohio.
When you become radical,
it's a little bit foggy out, so
unfortunately, is what
there's a lot of deer in this area, so I'm taking it kind of slow.
You don't want it to be.
Speed limit's here 55.
And build cities to be golden again. You want to burn everything to the ground because you think there's this theory.
Like simulcasting on Rumble, if you could. I'd appreciate you popping in that chat and just saying hi in chat. I need some unique chatters.
When you become radical,
I'll run the banner.
There's the roommate. There's the family. And again, there's the rhetoric. Right? Radicalized people, or people that are allowing themselves or becoming radicalized, always look for the words and sentiments and positions of people that they assume that are in power, that know better, and that are guiding them. Whether it's I saw the clip of, I forget the church, but it's a pastor, it's a reverend, and he starts by saying, well, I'm not going to celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk, and then he goes on to make this big emotional plea, and people start cheering and clapping in the church.
Over from you.
Put yourself.
Right. So he's basically saying,
Sorry about that.
You feel like you had a forum to express yourself. I've listened.
A little bit of a signal issue out here in the boonies.
And then, we walk away and we go, ultimately, maybe the worst is we agree to disagree.
Dropped off.
And that's how it's supposed to work,
coming
right?
back on.
But if you radicalize someone and then he, in this case, let's say he looks to the roommate or the family.
357, what up?
He was in a gaming culture. There's a lot of concerns.
It's a Rumble party.
About different parts of the gaming culture, which seems very dark. And I don't know scientifically if there's a causal link, but it seems like if you're playing video games and you're engaging in violence continuously, you're the type of person that's already predisposed towards thinking violence is the answer, and you just do it hour after hour after hour, and they're so realistic now, and the graphics are so
Shut up
realistic.
About the fucking video games.
I gotta believe that has something to do in your mind. It's almost like a video game where, how bad can it be? I do it all the time. Now I'm just happen to do it on a campus. And we've heard people that have committed murders that use gaming language about the acts they did. So I'm not blaming video games per se, but I'm saying all of these things you put into a pot and you start stirring it up, And then you sprinkle in these kinds of, again, like you were saying, words that continue to be used that after a while people just buy into. I can tell you with students that I talked to today, we're asking questions about what does a fascist really mean? And, again, it's been, 1945, 1946, we're in 2025, what is that, 80 years? Well, 80 years later,
Jody.
you've got people that are younger, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old saying, so, Hitler, why do people, I had one young lady say, why do people even in the media call and say, well, Trump's a Hitler? He's not in the Nazi party. He's not saying we're calling for the death of Jews. I mean, she was really trying to understand and really confused. And so that's the other piece. I wonder if people in those positions, media or on the left that are supposedly leadership positions, which I say are just simply unserious people, do they know? There's a number of people that are really confused by this and wondering why they're using these terms. Or again, Stacey, do they just not care? Do they just say it because it gets clicks, or they think that's what their base wants to hear? And what the heck do they hear? They have, their own private security, and they can hide behind gated community when they're outside DC, and so let the rest of the people work it out. I'm missing that. I truly don't have that answer at all.
Well, I'll tell you, what I see is when they're confronted with it, they
need to stop at the gas station to clean my windshield before I get on the turnpike.
You know what we mean when we say Hitler. If we say, well, the fascists were actually related to the Nazis, and the Nazis were literally socialists. So, like, what leaps are we making here? And then they'll say, I mean, it's constant. You're just trying to defend Trump. They don't have to really have a good argument. At that point, they just go into, well, you're just trying to defend Trump. Well, you know what I mean. The arguments become so, like, the same people who are telling you, well, you don't even have a good education, so I don't have to bother to talk to you about this, are the same ones who can't explain why, if the Nazis were socialists.
Yeah, they've been happening all over the country. That's pretty cool to hear.
Why did socialism fail so many times in the last century?
Right. Besides the
Yeah, it's fog is thick.
in the same breath, they'll certainly argue and are completely outraged that the Trump administration has the audacity to be pursuing different lawsuits from the DOJ against places like Harvard universities with $55 billion endowment, and essentially have fomented and allowed anti-Semitism to spread like a cancer on the universities. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, Stacey, but I'm not sure that if Hitler were to come back today, the first thing he would do is say, well, let's sue those universities that are saying bad things and intimidating, coercing, and even encouraging violence against Jews. But let's take care of that first. I mean, it's so ridiculous to almost be, it's so ridiculous. It's sad to even have to try to put reasoning to some of the lack of logic and the irrationality. But in these statements, they just then fall back. So many of them just fall back on the Trump. Like this one woman I shared.
Another wall of fog coming up.
Clearly didn't have or wasn't equipped or prepared or maybe never even challenged, even peacefully or civilly. And that's the other thing that, again, as you know, the founders envisioned this, a big key from having a democracy work is everybody has to be able to be ready and accept as an adult to have their views challenged peacefully in the open marketplace of ideas. That's kind of how this thing works. Once you start shutting everybody down, that's when you're on the path to communism and true dictatorships. When people won't even say how they feel because they're going to get shut down, they're going to get suppressed, they're going to get canceled. Terrible things are going to happen to them or worse, or pay for their life, as unfortunately he did.
And then we know, and I hate this, but the feeling that I've had in the past has been, oh, don't be, because when President Trump, with my daughter, I had the kind of same thing. We have our youngest child who, she's so friendly and so upbeat, but when I was crying over President Trump being shot, she was like, Mom, how can you be surprised? Didn't you know they were going to do this? They've been talking about resisting and how much they hate him. This was inevitable. And I was like, my child has been jaded by these awful political realities. And it's true, she has been jaded. But then on top of it, she wasn't wrong. It's not like she, oh my God, has been jaded and, she was wrong about that. No, she was absolutely right. That is exactly what the situation was. So,
no, exactly.
yeah.
So when I also look at it this way. When I was seeing, and some people were sharing some of these stories with me.
It depends.
Students asked me about this, and they were.
The wife's working from home tomorrow, so I'm hoping that she'll be able to take the
people that were.
The puppy has his last set of shots, and then we schedule his denutting appointment.
Well, he was this and he was that. He was an extremist, ultra-right, and he got what he deserved, kind of thing. And then other people literally dancing for joy. Imagine that. Imagine being human and having apparently lost your soul so much that you're jumping for joy at someone who was simply sitting there expressing his views as a Christian and as a conservative, inviting people to agree, disagree, debate him openly as he did. And apparently that's threatened your core beliefs to such an extent that apparently just having somebody disagree with you and attach some logic and facts to their disagreement threatens your sort of three-legged stool of who you are so much that you react with irrational joy at the death of a father and a husband, 31 years old. So my first reaction was just being appalled by it. But I got to tell you, over the last 2-3 days, the more I see this,
no worries.
I'm in a way now feeling almost blessed to be able to see into a number of people's hearts or lack thereof and allow them to really tell and show me who they really are. And
that's cool.
It's like walking down a really, really terrifying alley late at night, and people start jumping out at you. But the thing is, they're there, Stacy. And I guess it's better if we know they're there and who these people are and how they truly feel when they disagree with you, rather than think, oh, they're good people like me. They're not out to hurt me. Like they're out to harm us. They just disagree with me, and we'll do our thing and have the next election. Well, your daughter knows better. She knows that that's not the case. Not for all of them, but dang, for us, it seems like a pretty big number of people that just. It's hard to imagine they could be that depraved. But then I think of a lot of how they got these beliefs.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Each other, how they never deal with anybody that rejects their ideology or challenges them or questions them, and maybe they're always around people that say, no, this is the way, you're right, we have to do this, the other side's evil. Maybe then when someone even politely and nicely asks questions or challenges, maybe they're so thrown off their pins that they just react in such an irrational outrage. But still, my goodness, to think again, these people are under the same roof, the same house of a democracy, and that's how they are. Man, it's equal parts terrifying and enlightening.
I agree. So, at least I agree with you on the premise that we would rather know, right, that this is the reality that we're facing, rather than be naive and kind of still sitting around saying, oh no, we're just trying to win elections. This is more than that. This is a fight over the direction of our civilization.
I think he was around here at one point during the summer.
That's the tough truth, isn't it, though? Especially when you really,
I remember seeing his name
my optimistic
pop up.
self still really wants to think the best of people, but man,
Hey, friends in code.
You see a lot of people react that way, and you think there's no humanity, Stacey. There's no.
Appreciate you dropping in. If you could, just say hello in the Rumble chat as well.
We have to.
I appreciate it.
Leave it there. My producer says we're getting the hook. Such a great conversation, and the article is stellar. Everybody go take a look at it. You can go to gregthefilmmaker.com and you will not be disappointed. Valmar Films is his organization, Greg Revenue, and we love it when you join us. Thank you so much. Such a great conversation.
That's a great work. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it, man.
All right, we'll be back with more Stay Right Here.
I still got to get my ad reads in. For some reason, they disapproved the last 3 I did, but I'm pretty sure I know why. Pretty sure I know why. My fault. No, you are in Rumble. Sorry. I didn't even see the tag next to your name. I just saw the first one when you popped in.
Why haven't you called yet? Pick up the phone. 855-LAND-100. This is the best real estate buy in the country. Nothing else like it. Out of 700.
No, I didn't. I showed Red Zone, NFL Red Zone.
Medical services, law fields, and an equestrian center, all behind a gated entry. Yes, everyone gets around on golf carts. Just outside DFW, this resort-style community in Granbury.
That was kind of to be expected. Oh, wow, gosh, cheap here. We're gonna get gas too.
And full utility. Build
We'll be right back.
home and taxi straight to the runway. Looking for resort land away from the runway? Half the 10-acre home site started at only $99.9 with financing and 10% down for qualified buyers. Fly in or drive in. Just don't miss it. Go to pecanlandinfo.com or call 855-LAND-100. That's pecanlandinfo.com or 855-LAND-100.
Investors and 1031 exchangers. Market volatility is off the charts. Are you ready for steady tax-sheltered monthly income with high potential upside, all tax-sheltered through 1031 exchanges? Then you should consider the Icon America High Yield DSTs with cash flow starting at 7.5%. Icon targets the much undersupplied lower income housing and student housing. Icon America DSTs are diversified across multiple states in Utah, Florida, Ohio, Maryland, Georgia, Brooklyn, New York, and more. In-place cash flow is 7.5% with 10-year interest-only loans at 4.25%. Plus, adding washers and dryers and other value-add rental growth. 800-580-1031. Since 2007, Icon has paid out over $75 million in distributions to investors. Visit icon1031.com or call 800-580-1031. 800-580-1031. Put us to the test.
Individual results may vary. There's no guarantee that past performance will be indicative of future results. Invest wisely.
He's tied it up! The hunt for October is on, and SiriusXM is your home for baseball's playoff chase.
The man is walking off the amazing comeback.
From the top seed to the last wild card spot, hear every game, discuss every storyline with the experts of MLB Network Radio.
He's been unbelievable for them all season.
The race for the postseason is on SiriusXM 89, in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
Legal immigration.
The Second Amendment. Conservative principles live here.
We are
SiriusXM Patriot, Channel 125. Art News Daily with your host, Mike Slater.
We're going to take a brief dive into the darkest depths of the internet to find out what radicalized this murderer and so many other people and how to protect our kids. Do it tomorrow.
Breitbart News Daily. Weekdays at 6 a.m. Eastern on SiriusXM Patriot 125.
What does the future hold for business? Ask 9 experts and you'll get 10 answers. It's a bull market. It's a bear market. Rates will rise or fall. Inflation's up or down. Can someone invent a crystal ball? Until then, over 42,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 AI cloud ERP, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR into one fluid platform. With one unified business management suite, there's one source of truth, giving you the visibility and control you need to make quick decisions. With real-time insights and forecasting, you're peering into the future with actionable data. When you're closing the books in days, not weeks, you're spending less time looking backwards and more time on what's next. Whether your company is earning millions or even hundreds of millions, NetSuite helps you respond to immediate challenges and seize your biggest opportunities. Download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning for free at netsuite.com/nation. That's netsuite.com/nation. netsuite.com/nation.
It's your one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes. If you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-611-8892. 800-611-8892. 800-611-8892.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Stop wishing. Stop hoping. And please, take off those lucky socks and wash them. Growing your business doesn't have to be a guessing game. At Upswell, we've got it down to a science, expanding auto repair, fitness, dental, and home services for over 15 years with targeted direct mailers, social, email, and paid search. So stop shooting in the dark, turn in your crystals, and tap into your business's full potential at upswellmarketing.com. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's Upswell. More customers, period.
The right to bear arms.
Religious freedom.
Conservative principles live here.
We are.
Sirius XM Patriot, Channel 125.
We are Patriot.
Call 866-957-2874. Stacy on the right with Stacy Washington on Sirius XM Patriot 125.
They were told by a past administration, it became almost a culture, if somebody throws a rock at you, do nothing. If somebody spits in your face, do nothing. And I say, when they spit, you hit. Do whatever you want.
You gotta love President Trump. When they spit, you hit. He doesn't even mind giving a little rhyme. And we don't mind listening to it. So great stuff there. Good to have our guest, Mr. Rubidoo, back on the program. And we have more for you tomorrow night. Great guests, great news and information. Last couple of minutes here. There's thoughts on Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who's in the news again. Here's President Trump commenting on her comments.
Omar, after his assassination, called showing her a reprehensible human. Should she be stripped of her community service? I would say, I think she's a disgraceful person. You know, I think she's a disgraceful person, a loser. It's amazing the way people vote. I know it's people from her area, maybe of the world. I don't know. They got here and they voted her in. It's hard to believe, but I think she's a disgusting person.
So, yeah, the idea that, you know, she can't just offer her sincere and bite her tongue. It's not that she can't criticize Charlie Kirk's viewpoint. She didn't agree with it, but he was literally murdered. And then, of course, Stephen Miller is in the Oval Office of President Trump and reporters. But we don't have time to get to it, guys. We're out of time here. I got to tell you, tomorrow night I have some fantastic guests for you. News and information. It'll be Hump Day. I'll be talking to Bobby Barrett and more. So stay right here. Keep it locked to Sirius XM. And tomorrow's another day.
Do you owe the IRS back taxes? Haven't filed returns in years? Don't face it alone. At Tax Network USA, our licensed tax attorneys and IRS enrolled agents know how to stop the pressure and settle your tax debt fast. Tax Network USA has already helped clients eliminate over $1. Call 800-2789-2789-9000 or TNUSA.com. TNUSA.com.
The lights just went out. The fridge, dead. The AC, silent. And your phone, half charged. When disaster strikes, how you prepare beforehand can save your life.
Because when the lights go dark, people get desperate. They'll fight for food, beg for water, and do almost anything to get their hands on power. Being prepared and staying discreet could be what keeps you alive. That's why I trust the Patriot Power Generator 2500X from 4 Patriots. It's fume-free, silent, and powerful enough to run your fridge, freezer, CPAP, even medical devices, with no gas, no noise, and no unwanted attention. Just clean, quiet power when you need it most. And right now, for National Preparedness Month only, you'll get a free expansion pack, plus a free solar panel. That's a $2,100 value that yours free.
All
It's
right.
never been done before and will never happen again. Go to
No fake out this time. We're really going.
Patriots.com to claim your free expansion pack and free solar panel. Don't wait until it's too late. Prepare before the panic. Kruger's not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-420-2255. That's 800-420-2255.
Economic opportunity.
Moral order.
Conservative principles live here. We are Sirius XM Patriot Channel.
Yeah, I got a little tater tots and little spiced apple hot drink.
This hour from Town Hall, I'm Jason Walker. A massive operation as Israel moving into Gaza.
The Israeli military has announced its operation in Gaza City to destroy Hamas's military infrastructure. It's now in gear and warns residents to move south. The announcement follows a night of heavy strikes against northern Gaza that killed at least 20 people. Israel's been warning Gaza City residents to evacuate for the past month ahead of the operation, but many have said they're unable to evacuate due to overcrowding in Gaza South and the high price of transport. Also on Tuesday, Secretary of State Marco Rubio left Israel to go to Qatar, where he meets with its ruling emir as the nation is still incensed over Israel's strike on Hamas last week. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
FBI Director
testifying pretty bad
oversight hearing, defending his record and deflecting criticism from the Democrats who claim he has politicized the agency.
Under this administration, the FBI has arrested more than 23,000 violent criminals. That's more than twice for the same time period from last year alone. 23,000, more than twice from the same time period last year.
Testifying before the Senate Judiciary Committee, Patel says his record speaks for itself.
I'm honored to be the 9th director of the FBI. I'm not going anywhere. If you want to criticize my 16 years of service, please bring it on.
The man accused of assassinating conservative leader Charlie Kirk at a Utah college has now been charged
the Great Toledo
with
Weed Party.
murder. And the charge means that 22-year-old Tyler Robinson could face the death.
And I'm going through a small period of abstinence, man. That makes it really hard.
He started such classics as The Candidate, All the President's Men, The Way We Were, The Sting, and of course, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Robert Redford was 89. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Dennis Prager here for AmFed Coin and Bullion. I've always been a strong believer in precious metals investment, and I've always been fascinated with rare coin collecting. But owning the wronged coins that only make dealers
I didn't get invited either.
Catastrophic for your investment portfolio. AmFed Coin and Bullion specializes in taking people out of non-performing coin portfolios and turning them into gold, silver, or platinum bullion. They tailor a portfolio based on your goals and not what they want to sell you. You'll never experience scare tactics, misleading hype, or high-pressure sales from owner Nick Rovich and his very knowledgeable staff. They will evaluate your portfolio, show you how your coins have performed, and take the time to educate you on the ugly industry practices so that you can make an informed decision. Smart people can make very bad investments when they're under pressure and lack the facts. Call 800-221-7694. That's 800-221-7694. AmericanFederal.com.
A judge dismissing terrorism charges against Luigi Mangione, a New York State case over the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, but he kept the state's second-degree murder charges against him.
Judge said that while there is no doubt the killing was not ordinary street crime, New York law doesn't consider something terrorism simply because it was motivated by ideology. Mangione's lawyers arguing the New York case and a parallel federal death penalty prosecution amounts to double jeopardy, but the judge rejecting that, saying it's premature. Mangione's next court date is December 1st, days before he's due in court in the federal case. At Criminal Court in Manhattan, I'm Julie Walker.
In the meantime, the 27-year-old Mangione has attracted a somewhat cult following as a stand-in.
Yeah, it is for now. I'm still looking for a main. The IT stuff I do for the centers isn't cutting it, so actually I haven't done any deliveries in over a week and a half.
I'm not surrendering. I managed to protect myself or family member almost everything because the system is not a just system. It's a system about equity, which means
I'm not all that flexible.
even if it's self-defense. Starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM Patriot Channel 125.
Storms don't wait. Neither should you. This year, we've seen it all. Supply chain chaos, rising prices, the power grid pushed to the brink. Each time a disaster strikes, the shelves go empty fast. That's why Be Prepared is expanding with protection. Right now, for National Preparedness Month, 4 Patriots is doing something they've never done before. When you buy a 3-month survival food kit, you'll get 2 additional months absolutely free. That's 5 full months of delicious, shelf-stable meals. Designed to last 25 years and proudly manufactured in America.
There you go.
Now, that's peace of mind you can count on.
Definitely not that flexible.
When the power's out, when there's no food on the shelf, you'll either have what you need or you won't. Don't wait for the next emergency. Go now to 4patriots.com. That's the number 4patriots.com. Get 2 free months of survival.
Looking like Chris Farley out there.
Do you owe the IRS back taxes and haven't filed returns in years? Don't face it alone. At Tax Network USA are licensed tax attorneys and IRS enrolled.
Yeah, there you go.
Stop
Yeah.
the pressure and settle your tax debt fast. Tax Network USA is ready to help clients eliminate over $1 billion in back taxes, penalties, and interest. Call 800-278-9000 for your free consultation. 800-278-9000 or TNUSA.com. TNUSA.com.
Let's see who's up to date on the.
He's here. Now broadcasting from the underground command post. Deep in the bowels of a hidden bucket, somewhere under the brick and steel.
Hey, boss. No, actually, what I'm eating is tater tots. I'm done already.
Welcome, it is the Mark Levin Show. Ben Ferguson filling in tonight for the great one who is in Israel. He will be back with you shortly, I can promise you that. We have so much to cover on the show tonight, including the latest coming from the courtroom.
Nothing big, really. I mean, this is just, I'm just doing, it's basically technology director work. So,
And he could, in fact,
this guy's
face the death
apparently
penalty
insisting
of
on moving over.
aggravated murder. Here is what was said moments ago in that courtroom.
Aggravated murder with a capital felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-5-202. In that on September 10th, 2025, in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler J.
Somebody that won't come over to
intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Charlie Kirk
Rumble.
under the following circumstances.
Scared.
The defendant knowingly created a great risk of death to another individual other than Charlie Kirk, the defendant. Notice conviction of this offense may carry the death penalty pursuant to Utah Code 763-207.7, a mandatory term of imprisonment for life without parole, or an indeterminate term of not less than 25 years. That may be for life.
Tyler Robinson could face the death penalty.
Managed services, yeah.
Murder. You could hear the judge there making it very clear that this is how serious the state is going to go after him. It is very obvious that there is a major push for the death penalty. I also want to be clear, I am in favor of the death penalty. In fact, I do not believe that we use the death penalty often enough. And I believe many times it takes so long, even when the death penalty is used, that it is not a deterrent the way that it should be in this country. But if you want to stop the political violence,
yeah, I'm on the road.
we are witnessing.
I'm not gonna try and do mobile on the way home.
And I believe that unfortunately this political violence is the
Still about 45 minutes from home.
Like school shootings. I said this earlier.
I'd be down if I was at home with the laptop.
Used to do the school shootings because that's what quote made them famous. And then we stopped using their names and making them famous after school shootings happened. It used to be you could remember the shooters' names. And now I believe that these radical extremists on the left who have been radicalized by, I want to be clear, the Democratic Party, and I'm going to lay my evidence for that argument in just a moment. But they now have decided we can't debate you, we'll just kill you. If we can't beat you on election day, we'll just silence you with a killer. Same party, by the way, that claims they're in favor of gun control is the party now, and their followers that are using weapons, as they would say, weapons of war, to take out their political opponents, including going after our president, Donald Trump. There's also been a grand debate, which is disgusting to me on TV. A debate about, well, we're not really sure what motivated this individual. Are you insane? We know exactly who motivated this individual. It was a radical left, and yes, those leaders are Democrats. We have a montage, not one, but two montages of elected Democrats calling Republicans fascists and threats to America. And it's time we start calling those Democrats out by name.
Colleges, yeah.
Representative Donna Titus.
A lot of them have their own stuff.
Representative Susie Lee, Nevada 3rd District. Representative Marie Wusenkamp, Perez, Washington 3rd District. Representative Derek Tran, California 45th. Representative Dave Min, California 47th. Representative Gabe Vasquez, New Mexico 2nd. Representative Adam Gray, California 13th District. Representative Josh Harder, California 9th. Representative Eugene Vanderland.
A lot of them have their own curriculum.
Representative Josh Riley, New York 19th.
Ford as well, which
Gillen,
they use their
all of those Democrats.
managed services to help teach it.
And leaders and our
Which one do you prefer? I like Atera.
That is what they believe. The media, by the way, media commentators have gotten in on it as well. They have no problem talking about fascists and every other name under the sun, including.
I'm actually getting rid of Team Viewer. I'm not liking it anymore.
And again, let's go to Hitler. If you ask people a question, if you would kill Adolf Hitler earlier in life, would you do it? The answer is for a lot of people, yes. And that's why they call you Hitler. That's why they call you a Nazi. Because they're hoping that some crazy, like this individual, will follow through on their mission. They're lighting the match. They're pouring the gasoline. And they're wanting someone else to explode it. I want you to listen to this montage of the Democratic Party going all in on the word fascist.
And while Donald Trump was president, he said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had. When you said, did you agree President Biden believes that Donald Trump is a fascist? I mean, yes. He said himself. The former president has said he is going to be a dictator on day one. We cannot ignore that. We cannot.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. President Franklin Roosevelt was appalled that neo-Nazis, fascists in America were lining up to essentially pledge their support for the kind of government that they were seeing in Germany. Listen, I am concerned that this racist type in general, for whatever reason, even if America understands that he is a threat to our democracy and that he is a fascist.
His default, of course, is a fascist-like tendency during the time that he can, have a cognitive ability. And that's not an accusation I'm making. That's an accusation that comes from people who have worked for him at the most senior level.
You've never had, in the history of the country, a president want to be like Adolf Hitler. I mean, that's just such an extraordinary...
Oh, yeah, I have a separate laptop for all that.
That should cause everybody in America to stop and think about how devastatingly impossible that is to contemplate
It's a joyful campaign, but it is reflecting off who they are running against. A dark, dismal, fascist, and increasingly obviously fascist.
Ubiquity's finally coming out with some decent cameras for a decent price now.
Administration. This is what 21st century fascism is starting to look like.
So as important as it is that we are doing the work of resistance against
actually considering getting a couple to test them.
This hostile administration and this hostile government takeover and this march towards extremism.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Are they a threat to democracy? Yes. Are they going to take our rights away? Yes. Are they going to put people's lives in danger? Yes. Are they going to endanger the planet by not dealing with climate change? Yes. They're going to do all that?
Needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives. And unfortunately, there's plenty to go around.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
It's a danger.
No machine.
Danger to American security.
Well, is what kicking the out of fascism looks like.
Comparing the tactics of Donald Trump to Mussolini and Hitler is a very legitimate thing.
We have a symbol Hitler in the White House right now. I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
The thing we were all warning about for the last few years is not coming, it is here. We do now live in a country that has an authoritarian leader in charge. We have a consolidating dictatorship in our country.
And what we're seeing play out here is Donald Trump's promise to be a dictator on day one.
Trump has seemingly never met with a dictator he doesn't like.
It's some real dictator type stuff.
The American people will have to decide that they are the last in the line of defense against Donald Trump and American fascists. What is happening right now with this presidential attack on judges?
We live in a fascist dictatorship. This is where we are.
You have to call the thing what it is and be definitional about it. And what bad doesn't mean anything other than we go bad. It's what fascists used to say.
I've been tweeting for over a year. Daily reminder, today's GOP is no longer a political movement. It is a fascist movement that has embraced white nationalism.
Here's the guy who said stand back and stand by to the Proud Boys. Look at what he's doing last night, as you know. That, more or less salutes that are either QAnon or almost look like Nazis.
I'm going to put that in our podcast so that you can share it. Next time, Democrats claim that they have not called us fascists, that they have not created an environment where these young radicals on the left are trying to kill our leaders, where they're coming after Charlie Kirk or the assassination attempt on the president, Donald Trump. I want you to remind them in the 4 minutes that I just played that this is the biggest leaders and the president at the time, Joe Biden, his vice president, his White House press secretary. You could hear the famous voices. The highest levels of the Democratic Party have been saying this. If you don't think it was on purpose and that this was a clearly orchestrated decision by the Communist Socialist Marxist Democratic Party to inspire shooters, assassins to do their dirty work for them, you're not paying attention. And where do they get their microphone from to say the things that I just played for you? I didn't go to their websites to find it at the whitehouse.gov. I didn't go to Kamala Harris's Twitter page. No, this was from the media. You have to understand how orchestrated this narrative was. You had the highest leaders in the Democratic Party who decided to get everyone in their party that had power to say this over and over and over and over again, to normalize this type of speech, this type of political hate. And then they went to the media and they said, we need you to be our messenger.
Hey,
We need
C4.
you to be the one sounding the alarm. We need you to normalize what we're trying to say so it doesn't seem crazy that we say it over and over again. And that is exactly what they did. And so now here we are. We have my friend Charlie Kirk who's been assassinated. We've had a president that literally has been shot in an attempted assassination. And if you don't think they have a list of others that they've phone that are powerful, they want all of us that speak truth to be dead. How do I know it? Because the last 4 minutes that I just played for you. A minute. I started with the president, the vice president, the leadership of the Democratic Party. They did this, America, and we need to hold them accountable. And we need to hold the media accountable for allowing it to happen, to normalize it to the point where then there are people that are taking up arms. They're saying, who is next?
Yeah, blipped out for a second.
Ben Ferguson, filling in for the great one. Take your phone calls, 1-877-381-3811. I hope that you'll follow me on social during the break as well. I'll read your comments on X at Ben Ferguson Show, on Instagram at Ben Ferguson Podcast, on Facebook, Ben Ferguson. Put in there. We'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
With one word, she united the world. That's all that. Her powerful and joyous voice became the defining sound of salsa, earning her the title of queen and her own Sirius XM channel. Her timeless hits and the music she inspired. All on Celia Cruz Azúcar, starting Thursday on the Sirius XM app. Just search Celia.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
Could not believe how my hearing and life changed. Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you minimum payments with credit card debt reaching all-time highs? National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the
it's last Saturday tomorrow.
To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-947.
His puppy vaccinations. There's 3 sets of them he gets.
947-7722. Again, 800-947-7722. Introducing the all-new standard in golf travel from Club Love.
Then we're probably going to make his appointment for his
the #1 golf travel bag on tour.
neutering, whatever, spaying, whatever you do with males.
And the strongest ballistic fabric they've
Cut his nuts off.
Explore the all-new gear today at clublove.com. And for a limited time, use code XM25 at checkout and get a complimentary gift with your purchase. That's code XM25 at clublove.com today.
Yeah, last 2 have gone pretty well. I like that they
And if your car is out of warranty,
actually bring them down a little bit.
You, the driver, your mechanic, and Endurance to pay for the repair bills. I'm Dan Patrick. In the past 5 years, auto repair costs have gone up over 30%.
36%. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all. With an Endurance Auto Protection Plan, no matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, and more. And plans for any budget. Repairs can be done by the certified mechanic of your choice. Plans cover 24/7 towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, and lockout services. Act now and get the benefits of our Elite Plan, a $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you can never pay for covered auto repairs again. So call now for your free quote.
Call 800-295-7144. 800-295-7144. 800-295-7144.
Some things still matter. Hard work,
Takes forever for that to register.
quality you can count on. Black Rifle Coffee is roasted right here in the USA by veterans who believe in this country and in the Americans who show up every day to keep it running. This isn't trendy. This isn't fluff. It's not chasing likes or bending to the latest buzz. It's about service, sacrifice, and freedom. And it always has been. Whether you're heading out before sunrise, unlocking your shop, working the land, or just taking in the quiet from your front porch, you deserve a cup of coffee that stands for something. Signature roasts like Just Black, Cactus Squash, and Loyal Spirit deliver bold, rich flavor with zero apologies. No foam, no filters, just real coffee for real Americans. Ground, whole bean, or single serve K-Cup. However you brew it, make it matter. Black Rifle Coffee, veteran founded, American roasted. This is America's coffee. Pick it up at Walmart, your local grocery store, or skip the line and head straight to blackriflecoffee.com. Join the mission, fuel the spirit, stand for something.
Hi, I'm Sherry Harris, owner of Life Source Water. Across America, low quality tap water is a way of life, but it doesn't have to be. A Life Source whole house water system is the home appliance you'll love using every day. Now we're offering a double dip savings. Free basic installation plus an extra $250 off. That's up to $1,200 in savings. Call our factory at 1-800-WATER-99 or visit LifeSourceWater.com. Current offer ends September 30.
Warranty limitations apply. Strong national defense.
Sanctity of life.
Principles live here.
We are.
Sirius XM Patriot Channel 125. American Women is on the radio.
All right, welcome back. It is the Mark Levin Show. Ben Ferguson filling in for the great one who is in Israel. He'll be back with you very soon, and we've got a lot to chat about on the program tonight, including how did we get to the point where there are people that are truly inspired, especially young people, to kill people they disagree with politically. What got us to this point? It was the leadership of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party decided a long time ago what they were going to do is they were going to indoctrinate young people to believe that anyone they disagree with is truly an enemy, and anyone they disagree with, you are justified in taking out. That is what this is. And anyone that disagrees with me, go back and listen to the montage that I just played for you. I also know it's working because of what we're witnessing now. And what we are witnessing now is Democrats who are, I call them like low-level Democrats, who are echoing what the party has said. There's a 7.5-minute montage that I just retweeted, by the way, of elected Democrats calling Republicans fascists and threats to America. Now, these people are doing it because of the montage that I just played you of the leadership of the Democratic Party, including the former president, vice president, and many other top-level leaders, like the highest of the highest in the Democratic Party, saying that, well, we're a bunch of fascists, that Trump's a fascist, that we got to stop the fascists. Go back to the inscriptions on the bullets. It wasn't an accident, folks. The words that were chosen.
It's the Mark Levin Show. He's.
And if you don't think the minions of the Democratic Party are
got a replacement today,
well, listen to Representative, a Democrat, Dina Titus, Nevada 1st District, in her Nevada victory early vote speech to the voters in Nevada. Here's what she said.
Stand up and fight back against those MAGA Republicans.
said MAGA now, not MAGA. We got to fight against the homophobes in their party. We got to fight back against the election deniers. And we got to fight back against all those MAGA supporters.
We got to fight back. You demonize us. And it makes it easier for a young person to pick up a gun and try to kill us. We'll be right back.
Hey, Metallica family, this is James, it's Lars, this is Kirk, it's Robert.
It really means a lot to have our own channel here on Sirius XM.
For us to be able to have a platform to share the music that we love, the music that we create, the music that inspires us.
The most Metallica anywhere. Maximum Metallica. Do you want it?
Channel 42 and the Sirius XM app on right now.
Did you know that your largest investment asset might not be your retirement account or home? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. Most people don't realize that their life insurance policy is actually an asset they can sell. But for almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. We've even created a free policy value calculator at abacuspays.com so you can find out in seconds what we might pay for your policy. There are no fees and no obligations, just information. Knowing the value of your life insurance policy is as important as knowing the value of your home, your equity portfolio, or your finances in total. Discover the valuable information you need to understand the current market value for your life insurance, and then get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Visit abacuspays.com to learn more and use our free policy value calculator today.
Hey y'all, this is Jason Aldean. You know I'm all about supporting what matters to us, our families, our freedoms, and our country. That's why I made the switch to Patriot Mobile, America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. With Patriot Mobile, you're getting top quality service on the same great networks, and every bill helps support our veterans and defend our freedoms. It's time to put your dollars where it counts. Join me in switching to Patriot Mobile today.
Go to patriotmobile.com and use code SXM76 for a free month, or call 833-239-3075.
Running a small business is a daily balancing act. One late shipment, one price hike, one employee issue, and your whole month, maybe the entire year, could be in trouble. That's where LendSeek comes in. I needed $100,000 fast to keep up with inventory demands. LendSeek had me funded the same day I applied. Between their AI platform finding the fastest deal and a dedicated funding specialist guiding the process, it couldn't have been easier. Our AI-driven platform matches your business with the right program from over 100 funders, up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours. Don't wait until it's too late. If you've been in business at least 2 years with more than $500,000 in annual revenue, qualifying is simple. No collateral, no out-of-pocket costs, no hassle. From lines of credit, term loans to revenue-based financing, LendSeek is open for business. Apply in minutes at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
At Skechers, comfort is a technology. That's right, it doesn't just happen. You just make a shoe and hope it comes out comfortable. It takes research, innovation, compounds, engineering, and some of the boring things we don't really want to get into, because it gives us time to talk about the exciting stuff. Your comfort. You see, Skechers want you to feel so comfortable you swear you're wearing pillows on your feet. So we have features like Skechers Air Cool Memory Foam that molds to your foot and wraps it in luxury. And Skechers has fits like Relax Fit, Stretch Fit, Wide Fit, Arch Fit, and so many more. All comfort technologies that make the shoe feel like it was custom made just for your foot. Plus, we have hands-free Skechers Slip-ins technology, and this, folks, is a game changer. This tech allows you to just step into your shoes and put them on. You don't have to bend down and struggle. You don't even have to touch them. That's ultimate convenience and comfort. So you see, comfort is a technology. And nobody, and I mean nobody, does comfort like Skechers. The Comfort Technology Company. Find yours at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever comfortable footwear is sold.
Today, trading stocks without using options is like skydiving without a parachute. It's reckless. Hi, John Jerry here with my brother Pete. After 16 years as the go-to options expert on national TV,
We're teaching individual investors how to harness the power of options. Options can turn a tiny stock move into much more substantial gains. Options are so diverse, they could turn stop losses into profit-taking wins. If you ask us, learning to trade options is no longer an option. It's a necessity. That's why we wrote our new book called It's Not an Option. And that's why today we're covering the cost of the book and giving away copies for free. If you have any money exposed to the stock market, you need to get this book. It's not an option. For your free copy of John and Pete's new book, text NEWS to 80555. A $29.95 value free when you cover shipping. Text the word NEWS to 80555. Text NEWS to 80555. Message and data rates may apply. Secure borders. Free market. Free market. Conservative principles. Live here. We are Sirius XM Patriot. Channel 125. Joe.
Where liberalism ends and liberty begins. The Mike Levine Show at 877-381-3811.
Welcome back. It is the Mark Levin Show. Ben Ferguson filling in for the great one, Mark. Tonight he is in Israel. He'll be back with you shortly. We've got a lot to talk about. And I go back to what I said earlier about the Democratic Party. If you want to know what created the environment where we have now normalized assassination of political leaders, whether
I'm doing good. Just tired.
A grand debater
Almost
like
home.
Kirk.
We'll be good.
If you want to know what got us where we are now, it took time, folks. It took real effort. It took a coordinated effort by the biggest leaders in the Democratic Party to get a
long day
to believe that it is completely appropriate to kill people that they disagree with politically. I want to give you a stat just to put this into perspective. I want you to listen to how quickly we have been desensitized to political violence. And you say, well, hold on, have we really been desensitized to it? Generationally, we have. Generation by generation by generation. We are now witnessing a hardcore desensitizing to the idea that you can just kill anybody that you think is a threat to what you believe in. It's not what, by the way, makes this country amazing. And Democrats are like, no, it's okay. Like, you can go out there and whether it's Trump or Charlie Kirk or anybody else that you don't like, that's a conservative, same thing you don't like, you can do it. And I'm going to give you two more pieces of data. Like, if there's any night that I've ever hosted for the great one, tonight's a night where you may actually want to start taking notes. One of the first things that Democrats did is they decided to desensitize people to violence before they got to killing. How do I know this? Because of their track record. Let's go back to the desensitizing of the left to the idea of even using violence. And when you get violent, you got to get people to the point where you can justify the violence. So step one,
it's about just a little bit over an hour.
And then you add the word riots to it. And then and what did the media do? They're like, oh, no, like, I know they're burning stuff down. Like, I know they're burning down cities and convenience stores. And I know that they're burning those police cars behind us at the police station, but it's mostly peaceful, AKA, well, this is justified. And so you had the Black Lives Matter riots. Then they said, all right, let's burn down some more stuff. And it moved into
it's a daytime show.
Then it moved into church shootings. Then it moved into Trump assassination attempt number 1. Then it moved to the Charlie Kirk assassination. And before that, by the way, we had, just a couple months ago, remember the Tesla vandalisms? Like, we normalized, like, literally bombing Tesla dealerships, putting bombs into cars and blowing things up. Then we had the normalizing of the pro-life pregnancy center fires where you could just burn down a pro-life center. Then we normalized, not we, let's be clear, the left, normalized the attacks on ICE agents And it was justifiable to want to attack or shoot ICE agents. Remember, that happened. There were ICE agents that were shot and shot at, going in and out of their place of work. Remember that? Then we were doxing them, and we were threatening to kill their kids and their wives and targeting their homes. We normalize that, right? Because if you disagree with them, well, you just go out there and you kill them. We've normalized attacks on police officers. Well, police are bad. We got to defund the police. We got to get rid of the police. We got to have bail reform, prison reform. We got to advocate for criminal activity. Hell, then we even saw the attacks on federal courthouses. And this is not the full list. Matt Walsh, by the way, put out a great list. I'm pulling from part of that now. He said, quote, "This is merely a partial list. Nearly all of the politically motivated violence in America is committed by one side. This is not a both sides thing. This is a one-sided thing." He is correct. You go back to what Elon Musk put out, quote, "They don't kill you because you're a Nazi. They call you a Nazi so that they can what? So
they're being attacked
can
all over.
kill you." Why did they kill Charlie Kirk? Because he was a man that they had dehumanized, and the right they are dehumanizing, and the police they are dehumanizing, and the pregnancy crisis they're dehumanizing, and the churches and Christians they have dehumanized. What was Charlie Kirk's crime? Asking people that disagree with him to come have a conversation with him. If I would have done this show last week, I would have been very sad and I would have been choked up a lot. I am now at the point where I am doubling down and I am hell-bent on fighting the radical left that is absolutely trying to destroy this country and silence anyone that they believe gets in their way. By the way, I know what it's like to have your life targeted. I was a target of a gang initiation. They tried to take my life. I've been shot at from point blank range. I had to shoot back, oddly enough, in the place of the president sending the National Guard to Memphis, Tennessee, because I stood up to the gangs that were destroying Memphis, Tennessee. And I started to expose the gangs in Memphis, Tennessee, and the leadership of the gangs in Memphis, Tennessee, and what they were doing to my hometown. And it almost cost me my life. I've had a gun put to the side of my head. I've had a gun pointed at me, and I've been run off the road. For one, and what was my crime? Speaking out on the radio. By the way, the same radio station the people in Memphis are hearing me right now. You know what the police told me when I called them? They told me, "We don't do high-speed chases. We need you to pull over and wait for us." And I said, "There's a guy chasing me with a gun out the window." What you need to understand about the left is they are dehumanizing us, so then they can inspire this younger generation to kill us. What did Charlie do that made them angry? He believed in traditional marriage. He said, "Get married." He believed in a traditional family. He said, "Have children." He said, "Build a legacy." That's what they're most threatened by. He wanted to pass down his values to his family and to his friends. Well, they don't like that. Got to kill him. He wanted them to pursue eternal life with Jesus as your Lord and Savior. He said, "Seek true joy."
Well, we're only about 5 minutes away from home, so.
And that's when they're like, "Nope, can't have that. Got to kill him." By the way, we had some really cool things happen this last week. We had a lot of people that came together. There has been, in some ways, a turn here. Look at Sunday. A couple years ago, it was like Black Lives Matter everything and 2 national anthems. But this last Sunday, what happened? There was a lot of teams that honored Charlie Kirk, NFL football teams. By the way, they figured out a lot of the people buying their tickets are actually conservatives. But here's what you also need to know. A lot of it was done probably in somewhat protest. According to the New York Post, listen carefully, the Bengals, the Lions, the Colts, and the Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, Detroit Lions, Indianapolis Colts, and the Baltimore Ravens, I say those cities, go look at who's running them, are cited as the teams that did not hold moments of silence for Charlie Kirk. Well, the other teams did. NBC Sports and Pro Football Talk confirmed that in the 9 early Sunday games, those 4 teams did not tribute. Those games were Cincinnati versus Jaguars. Yeah, the Bengals said no. The Bears versus the Lions. The Lions said no. We're not gonna celebrate this guy. The Browns versus the Ravens. Ravens said the same thing. And why? Well, here's what the NFL had stated. The NFL had stated that after a league mandated tribute before one game, each team was left free to choose whether to hold a tribute or a moment of silence in their subsequent games. So in other words, we're going to check the box. Now, thank goodness there's some team owners out there that actually are insane. But I would say to those teams that didn't do it, F those teams. Which brings me to the next point that I said a moment ago, and I want to get to this because it's really important. I said earlier that the Democratic Party, and I go back to the montage that I played for you earlier, of the biggest leaders in the Democratic Party calling for political violence. Well, now you say, well, hold on, Ben. They didn't actually say go kill somebody. No, they just said, you're a fascist, you're Hitler, you're a Nazi. You want to know how the impact that's had on young people? All right, let's go through the new polling data. Political violence
It is bumpy.
is never acceptable. Baby boomers were still sane. 93% of baby boomers say political violence is never acceptable. But here's where the deterioration of the family, the home, and values has happened, and how the media and the left are grabbing the minds of young people who are now the killers. Gen X, 86%. So the number drops from 93 to 86%. Political violence is never acceptable. Gen X, 86%. Political violence is never acceptable among millennials. It drops then again in the next generation to 71%. So again, baby boomers, 93% of baby boomers said political violence is never acceptable. That number drops in just 2 generations down to the millennials to 71%. But here's the thing that's scary as hell. And they know this is happening, folks, and it's by design. The Democratic Party has now gotten Gen Z to a point where political violence is never acceptable. They say only 58% of Gen Zers say that. What does that mean? That means that 42% of Gen Zers believe, more than 4 out of every 10 Gen Zers believe that political violence is acceptable, appropriate, warranted, needed, acceptable behavior to go out there and to get violence against the people that you disagree with. So I go back to the montage that I played for you earlier.
Puppies are losing their shit. All right, guys, thanks for riding with me. I appreciate it, as always. I will see you tomorrow. We will be alive again tomorrow.
And I want you to listen to it carefully again. And I want you to listen to the voices carefully. And I want you to think about what I just said in the presentation that I